what happened last weekend. I met with a young couple to contemplate buying a home. The first thing I asked them is, are you living at home or are you renting? And they're like, we're renting. I said, okay, cool. So are you looking to buy a house? And they're like, well, the concept of a mortgage just kind of freaks us out. And I said, but you're renting, correct? They're like, yeah. I said, so you're paying a mortgage? They're like, no, we're paying rent. And I said, no, you're paying a mortgage. Every month they pay rent to their landlord. They pay Mr. Landlord every month $1,800. Mr. Landlord has a mortgage on the home that they live in. Of the $1,800, he owes the bank $1,500. He takes $300, and then Mr. Landlord takes their rent and converts it to a mortgage payment and pays the bank. So I said, wonder if we circumvented this guy, and if you could make that payment directly and now save yourself $300 and own the house, because your rent theoretically is the same thing as a mortgage. So I explained that rent equals mortgage. Now the next thing is, what is any other reluctancies that you have in buying a house? And they said two things. One, we don't really think we have enough for our down payment. And the next thing is, we're stuck, can't sell. Or, oh man, now we have a house, we got to stay in there for 30 years. I'm going to debunk both their fears. So the down payment part of it is, most of the first-time homebuyer programs that we offer require 3% down. You don't need 10%, 20%. That is completely wrong. So you need 3% down. So let's say, for example, you're buying a $200,000 home, 3%, $6,000. Well, a lot of young couples, a lot of young people, between rent, car payments, student loans, and everything else, they might not have the $6,000. If you have it, God bless you. Love to help. If you don't have it, God bless you. Love to help. Here's why. Here's ways that we can help you drive down this number. So the options we have we started out, you need $6,000 to buy that house. First of all, what I'm going to ask you is, we're going to set you up with a realtor that knows what they're doing. We're going to try to ask for a seller credit. What that means is the seller might be able to help us with that contribution. So that's number one, we'll get you a seller credit. Number two, and this is probably the biggest thing that we have, is we have down payment assistance programs. We reference the down payment assistance programs as a DPA, okay, down payment assistance. There's a ton of them out there, and we help you find them. We actually will do all the work for you. There's federal programs, there's state, and there's local. Many of these programs will give you up to $10,000. It's normally a percentage of the loan amount or the purchase price. But you can get loans or grants up to $10,000. In many cases, too, they're forgivable. You don't have to pay anything back. So you imagine if you could buy a house, you need $6,000. We get you a $6,000 grant that's forgivable after 3 years to bring this number to zero. That's debunking fear number one. Fear number two, you're stuck in that house for 30 years. Who wants to buy a house and have to be stuck for 30 years? I don't. We put some numbers together, and the average rents right now in some of the major metropolitan areas is $1,800. $1,800 a month in rent, and we all know what is rent? That's a mortgage. $1,800 in most areas of the country can buy you a $275,000 home. The breakdown of this is a rate at 2.875%. That's our rate today. On a 30-year term, real estate taxes of $6,000, which in many cases, this is on the high end, and $700 a year in homeowners insurance. The APR on that is 3.35. So you can buy a $275,000 home for what you're paying in rent. Is the current house you're in worth $275,000? Can you do anything you want to that $275,000 home? Probably not, because you don't own it. You rent. Your landlord has a mortgage on it. So let's look at the numbers to debunk the fact I don't want to stay there for 30 years. What happens if I get transferred in 5 years? What's the mathematics behind all of this? So you bought the house for $275,000. Let's say after 5 years you get transferred, or you have a child, or another child, or you get the dog and the 2 kids, the dog and the picket fence, and now you're like, you know what, I need a little bit bigger house, or I need to move. Well, let's look at the numbers. Is it beneficial or do you lose money? Well, $275,000 after 5 years, your mortgage balance is going to be down to $236,000. Here's the good news. The value, and we took between 3 and 4% appreciation, and that's the norm throughout the whole country, the value should be worth $330,000. This is how much it's worth. That's how much you owe. That's almost $100,000 that you can now put down on your next home. So now I just debunked the theory of you're stuck, you can't sell. Well, yes, you can sell it after 5 years and maybe make $100,000. So now you're like, Dan, it makes sense. Now what? So the first step you're going to have to take is we got to talk to you. We got to get you pre-approved. There's a difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. So that's number one. Number two, who do you use? Use me. Why? I have a staff that's basically on call 24/7, online systems, application systems, and we work with you guys directly to help you through that process. Let's say, for example, you needed that down payment assistance programs. What other lender is going to help you walk through that process? We will. The next step of this is you like an area, but you're like, how do I find a realtor? You go to Zillow, do you go to Redfin, you don't know these people. You don't know if they're coming from an hour away or whatever. We have a whole network of realtors in your area that can help you and has your best interests in mind, and we work as a team. And that's the reason why you use the Frio team. So the best way to reach out to us is please don't forget to subscribe down below. Click the bell so every time I do post a video, you get an alert. Give us a call at 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-5626. Or go on the web. You can find us at therateupdate.com. God bless. Thank you for your time, and look forward to working with you.